Why not just leave a relationship instead of cheat? Write in the comments what you think about this. Enjoy the show. Story 1. Leaving a relationship instead of cheating is definitely the more respectful and honest choice. Cheating often happens when someone feels dissatisfied or trapped, but struggles to communicate those feelings or make the tough decision to end things. It's a way to avoid confronting the real issues. Having an open and honest conversation about the problems and feelings in the relationship is much healthier for both partners. It allows for resolution, growth, or a respectful end, rather than causing more harm and complicating the situation with betrayal. Story 2. I haven't cheated or been cheated on, but my parents have, and the same has happened to friends. My dad tells me the reason he cheated was because of his ego. My mom was busy with her own life and with me and my siblings, and my dad didn't want to lose the relationship. He is in love with my mom, but felt lonely and was seeking attention/connection/sex/fun dates and outings from someone else. It all eventually worked out. My parents had beef for a few years after this, but they got couples therapy and are doing great now. Another guy I know was low-key forced into a marriage after impregnating a new girlfriend, wanted to be there for his kid and the family that they had, but wanted to experience new people after having been a teen parent. Story 3. In some cases, people cheat in the spur of the moment. They are at a bar, see someone that they want to sleep with, and don't want to have to go through the difficult conversation of breaking up first. In other cases, it's not a matter of wanting to be with a different person, but instead need multiple partners to feel satisfied. And third, some people like the security of being in a relationship, but are bored and unhappy and want something more. Story 4. Haven't been a cheater myself, but I have been cheated on and know several others that either did cheat or have been cheated on. In my opinion, it's because they are cowardly. They want to avoid any and all stresses and responsibility and just do whatever they want. Maybe they'll lie about it or concoct some sort of story to explain it all away, but in general, they want an out and aren't mature enough to deal with it like responsible people. Story 5. Not that this justified things at all, but there's a lot of reasons. There was a married gal I knew who couldn't stand her husband and tried to get things started with me. It didn't happen, don't worry. She felt trapped due to being a stay-at-home mom with zero job history and no money of her own and nowhere to really go. There's also people who get caught up in dumb emotional hormone-filled moments and make a stupid choice but really do care about their partners. This doesn't make it okay, but these people exist. I could probably think of a bunch more reasons if I had to. None of them really excuse cheating, but they do explain it. Just keep in mind, not all people who cheat do it because they are done with a relationship. Some do it for dumber reasons, and many who do it wind up feeling guilty and remorse for it as well. Story 6. I loved him so much, I really did. It was the best of everything, but he brought me down whenever he could. The only way I could cope during the short breakups were to cheat on him, but when we got back together, it felt so beautiful. Fast forward to today, I'm happily married to a really good-looking man who treats me like a princess. But time to time, I do think of my ex. We had fire. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was there. I always wonder how he's doing. Haha. Story 7. Leaving a relationship instead of cheating is definitely the healthier and more respectful choice. Cheating often stems from unresolved issues or dissatisfaction, and it's a way of avoiding difficult conversations and decisions. Facing the problems head-on and communicating openly is challenging but necessary for a relationship to grow or end respectfully. Cheating can cause a lot of pain and betrayal, whereas having an honest conversation allows both partners to address their needs and potentially move forward in a more constructive way. Ultimately, respecting your partner and yourself by choosing honesty and integrity is key to maintaining healthy relationships. Story 8. Because they're cowards. I'm a dude. I have never cheated. I figured that if I ever get to the point where I'm literally going to look for another woman for some reason, then I'll just get my divorce paperwork done. She has put years into me. There is no reason that she doesn't at least deserve a proper goodbye from me. It can be abrupt, it can be short-worded, but it won't be through cheating. Boyfriend-girlfriend type relationships are even easier. They have no paperwork to do with courts. Just pack your stuff, say your goodbyes, and thank you for your time. You are never forced to be with somebody, even in marriage like I am. You can always choose to walk away, to end it. Cheating is never the answer. It's just what cowards do, or super disgusting horny people do because they don't respect their current partner. Both are unacceptable. Story 9. People who chronically cheat don't do it because they want to be in a relationship with any other person. For most cheaters, the thrill of getting away with it or almost getting caught is what gets them off. I've known so many couples who have had this discussion. If you ever feel the need to cheat on me, please just leave me instead. In their relationships, and one of them is always completely caught off guard when they find out the other one actually is a cheater. There are also the ones that do fall in love with the other party, but that's also driven by the forbidden love factor, just as the cheating is. It's about thrills, not about love. Story 10. Because some people are not emotionally mature enough. I know because I was there. I never make excuses for my actions, but my childhood and all the bullshit that went along with that, abuse, etc. It changes who you are. Some people are not set up to make the right decisions in adulthood. You have to work extra hard at doing something that comes naturally to someone else. You have these wounds that inhibit you from showing up for yourself. You have to relearn everything if you want to grow and be a better person. Story 11. Realistically, a lot of people cheat. There are some that get caught and some that don't. Are they all bad people? No. It's a case-by-case basis. In this day and age, people are still naive to the cheating thing. Every new thing gets old. Things you love about your partner at first become annoyances. Dead bedroom. So many things, but bottom line, if you do cheat, you do not 100% love your partner. I think the problem is, instead of waiting to find your match, people are staying with the first person that comes along, even though they aren't right for each other. The people that are happy for years to come are with someone they love completely. Story 12. Just remember, if someone cheats on you, they don't love you. I don't care if I'm married for 40 years and we're both living in an old folks' home together. I will divorce her and make them switch one of us out of the room. I don't care if it happened before we walk down the aisle. Every day after someone cheats on you is a lie. If you cheated on someone, you didn't love them. Love is, if your wife can never have sex again, you will never have sex again. Most people who say they're in love aren't. If your love is continent on sex, then you're not in love. If I'm in love but the sex is bad, well, I'll just have sex with myself, my hand, instead of cheating on her. I hooked up with a woman I met at a bar. The next morning, I found her wallet with insurance cards in it, so I figured she would want it back. When I searched her name, she had a picture of her husband, and her child. They were in front of a mansion. He was an executive at an IT company. That's when I realized people would cheat no matter what they have in their marriage. Now, they could have had an open relationship I didn't know about, but after that, it made me realize people will throw away the world just for one night of fun. I'm a short little dude who was working at a grocery store, driving a 9-year-old Camaro, renting a house with my brother, and our mother was living in the back. This lady had everything, and she was spending a night with me. This happened 14 years ago, and I'm still mad at her about it. I bet they're still together, living a happy lie. Many people cheat for just about any reason they can try to justify it with. Story 13. Because they don't want to leave the relationship, they don't want anything to change. They just want a little on the side, the thrill. When they come home, everything is normal, and the kids are laughing, and dinner's on the table. And why would you leave this? Most of the time, they aren't actually trying to leave and go be with someone else and start over. They want some cake, and for you not to know. Even the ones who do want to leave don't want to just be out on the street, so they plot and they plan. I still think most are just people wanting their cake and not losing what they have. He really believes he didn't want to hurt you. He just didn't want you to ever find out. That would have solved all the problems. That's why they don't leave. They never wanted to. They just thought they were the main character and could do whatever they wanted, and you would just carry on. Story 14. I'd asked a buddy of mine this. He cheated on his spouse a couple of times. He suffered from depression, and ultimately it won in the end. His answer, though, has stuck with me alongside other memories. I don't feel noticed, man, like I'll come home from work and she'll come home. Quick kiss on the cheek, bite to eat. Maybe we watch something, look at our socials, and off to bed. Rinse and repeat. The gals were co-workers. He saw them regularly, and they were big flirts, not excusing. I saw the way he acted, and I thought he just liked the attention. It wasn't until he'd confessed to me while we were drinking. He could have left, but I think he genuinely cared about his wife, just felt overlooked and forgotten. Story 15. I think there are lots of reasons people cheat, but to generalize, I would say it's similar to something like, imagine you spend all your money on a house. It was a pretty good house, you worked on it for years, and it's a pretty great house now, but it doesn't have a pool, and you really just want to go swimming sometimes. You work hard and you save, and your life could be complete if you just had a pool. But it turns out the HOA for your lot is grandfathered into the original terms for when you bought the house, and sadly, no pool allowed. Why not just sell your entire house with all your memories and good things and buy a new house with a pool? Or, just go for a swim in the neighbors once in a while. Story 16, man. I wish I just cheated. Instead, I broke off the relationship with her after not seeing her for a month. I did the morally right thing by breaking up with her, then seeing someone else. She freaked out by me breaking up with her, and suddenly she had the means to bang on my window door the very next morning and got the cops involved. Now I'm dealing with this shit in court. If I had just snuck around and not broken it off with her, then I would have got what I wanted, and not dealing with this fucking case she insisted upon me. Sometimes you just have to do what's best for yourself, and it's no one else's business. Story 17. I cheated. It was an open relationship, so yeah, there's that can of worms. Because my ex-fiancé threatened suicide or his life will fuck up if I ever left him. But he more or less stopped giving me any attention, especially physically, after stating how I was feeling being unloved and unwanted, how he wasn't living up to the promises he made me when we were dating. So after checking in with him, I took up the open part of the relationship, and he blew a gasket when I told him I was out sleeping around. Mind you, this guy tried to bring 2 entire whole-ass people into our relationship and openly played around with people online. So it's rather weird and not really typical to the pattern on how most people cheat, because for the bulk of it, I didn't consider it cheating until he called it that. However it happened, I'm still seeing a therapist about it. People are weird and complicated. I've known people who've cheated on excellent partners for the most shallow of reasons, and I've known people who've cheated to get a break out of a bad situation that they didn't seemingly have an out in. TL Doctor. Not everyone who cheats can always safely or surely leave a broken relationship. I'm not trying to invalidate the feelings or experiences of people who have been cheated on at all. I am, however, stating that it's not always to black and white. Having been through what I've been through, I do think that while cheating never works and does more harm than good, I do think there are sympathetic reasons to it pending circumstances. Story 18, because that's what I want to know too. Don't want to think of your spouse and the pain you'll cause? Fine. Then think of yourself, since you already are anyway. You really want to have to keep worrying and sneaking around? Shit is such a waste of time, effort, and energy. Wouldn't you rather be with someone without the guilt versus, oh shit, I don't want my whatever to find out? Imagine if you get caught. Congratulations, you're an asshole. Also, all that effort wasted. But if got you the outcome you so desire, which is clearly to end a relationship, then I guess it's worth it. But don't you think you could have had it so much sooner and it would go so much smoother if you just cleanly broke it off? Also, divorces are expensive AF, especially if it's an at-fault divorce, so I double hope it was worth it. Maybe it doesn't work out so well for you one way or another. Not surprised, because it's an all-around bad decision. Being alone and unhappy, etc. Womp womp, motherfucker. Like, I get being unhappy with your life and having the right to vent about it. But when it's something you did to yourself, it's annoying AS to listen to. Like, wah, wah, wah. I don't want to hear it. Give me a goddamn break. It's hard to sympathize with sometimes because, like I said, you did it to yourself. As for the future, I don't always believe in once a cheater, always a cheater like I used to. I believe people can change depending on if they feel remorse, what they want to do to change, and what they actually do. Some people feel guilt and remorse. There's also people who don't. Fuck the people who don't. TLDR, cheating is a waste of time, effort, and energy. It shows really poor decision-making too. Why worry about someone finding out if you don't give them a dirty-ass secret to find out about? Story 19, because cheaters follow the same logic as a narcissist or toddler. But I wanted more. But it wasn't that bad. But you shouldn't care. But you didn't make me feel right. But you weren't doing enough. But he was coming on to me. But I didn't want to say no. But you had sex with someone else before we met. But it didn't hurt you until now. But you cheated when you were a teen in a relationship with someone else and never again. But my friends told me it was okay. But everyone cheats. SA should be taken seriously, and the examples used are only used after they're found to be cheating / flirting / etc., and not, for example, after a drunken party or after walking home alone and getting SA'd, or in events where SA has happened. Story 20. Well, I did it as a younger person. It was a hard lesson learned, and I won't do it again. I think there are many reasons why people justify it in their mind, but I will share mine. In my case, I was dating an incredibly handsome and intelligent man that I loved for 5 years. Unfortunately, he had substance abuse problems, and as time wore on, and he suffered several arrests due to this, it took a toll on our relationship. I still loved him, but I was ready to move on to a more serious phase in life. I was graduating from college and was ready to do adult things. I begged him to get clean so we could move on together, but it wasn't important to him. I couldn't bear the thought of ending the relationship, but I also wanted things I couldn't get from him. He took a job out of town and, well, I met a man who checked all the boxes in my mind. In the end, the man I met was not all that. I got busted, and it hurt the man I loved in a way I never meant to hurt him. I wish I'd had the courage to break up with him and state my reasons. Maybe he'd have pulled it together if I had, IDK. In the end, I learned a lot from it, and I would never do that again. I went on to be married and faithful for many years, but there is no one-size-fits-all to why people cheat. Story 21. For my ex, I totally understood why. He would get drunk and girls would come on to him and he would get horny and have sex with them in a heat-of-the-moment thing. We broke up, But to me, he was just a flawed, horny, immature alcoholic, not a monster. I knew he felt guilty and I knew he loved me. It just didn't matter. He had no self-control over his horniness. For the same reason addicts can love someone and still steal from them for drug money. But truly monstrous cheating is those who will have entire romantic relationships on the side and then come home to their families with no guilt or shame. That is a level of sociopathy I can't even really comprehend, especially when they have zero intention of leaving their family eventually. Story 22. That's what me and the dude that she was planning to cheat on me with were wondering about 15 minutes ago. I just broke up with her. 3 years. She was hiding talking to him for 3 days and planning on seeing him next month. I came to this country because of her. She was also hiding me from him. She apparently told him I was her ex who did every right, but it couldn't work out because of her parents. I only found out because she was texting with him on a game, and I went into her account and texted him because I saw suspicious chats. He responded, and I went on a call with him and we both talked calmly, since we both knew we were being played. He's an extremely cool dude, and it was kind of nice to hear about the same thing with him. I'm thankful that he was the way I found out before she actually managed to cheat, because it somehow hurts less despite knowing that she would do it anyway. Still feels unreal. Story 23. I have a friend I've known since high school who, every time we ate together, she would reach across and grab a couple of my fries, assuming I had fries. Even if her plate had fries, she was really subtle about it too. I'd form small barriers consisting of salt shakers, napkin dispensers. I'd rotate the plate so the fries were toward me and away from her. She'd still find a way. Point is, she had asterisk fries. But she wanted my asterisk fries. I think about her sometimes when the topic of why do cheaters cheat comes up. To the best of my knowledge, she's never cheated on anyone. Her husband is rad, and she's absolutely devoted to him. But I think about the fries as an alternative expression of some instinct that some people have, where what they have isn't enough. Because someone else has something else, even if it's pretty much the same. Story 24, insecurity power. They feel insecure, so they don't want to leave. They just want someone else to make them feel good about themselves when they don't feel so good. They want someone else to love them, someone they either see as a fool or someone who they think they really could be with. They want an ego boost, not a shit show of an end to a relationship. Some are, in the moment, treating it like a 9-5. Gotta have your next job lined up before you leave, right? Others really are just playing with other people. They never intend to leave. They already have a really good person at home. They just love the thrill. Sometimes these people are both the same. It just matters when they're cheating. However, it all has to do with insecurity and power. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have the relationship everyone dreams of, even if it's nothing like that, but it looks like that. They tend to be destructive in all their relationships, just give them time. They also want to be the player people dream they could be, to feel you could just get whoever you want. These feelings are usually fleeting. They feel bad for a short time. They get their fix. They spill their feelings about their spouse to a stranger. Feelings that are usually caused by their own terrible relationship maintenance mechanisms. Story 25. My sister cheated on her long-term ex-boyfriend because she loved him deeply, but didn't realize she loved him more as a friend and had to force herself to have sex with him by drinking. And so she cheated on him with an ex who had cheated on her previously. It was very wrong, but luckily the relationship has ended and the guy she cheated on is with another girl now who seems great, but he's always gone for women much more attractive than himself. So I hope the same thing doesn't happen again, but it seems like things are good for him now. And my sister is still with the guy she cheated with, but I honestly think they are kind of good for each other because neither of them is perfect and neither is taking advantage of the other, and they're both very similar flawed people, but they have good hearts. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Be sure to write comments and share your stories.